started. All right. So I had you guys use your protractors and construct, or you're drawing one of these. You're drawing each of the angles that I listed below. And then I had you identify whether each angle was an acute angle, a right angle, or an obtuse angle. So first things first, before we start drawing those angles, let's choose what type of angle each one of these is. So number one, what kind of angle is that?
Acute.
Acute. Why is it an acute angle?
Because it's less than 90.
Yes, it is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. So that's what makes it an acute angle. It's little. How about number two?
Right.
Number two, we got 65 degrees. Yes, you went left to right. That's okay. So 65 degrees, that is less than 90. So it is also acute. Acute angle.
I'll put my numbers on here.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. Now let's look at number three. 90 degrees. What's that?
Right.
A right angle. Good.
Measures right at 90.
Uh-huh. So a right angle, just to refresh ourselves, is an angle that is exactly 90 degrees. If it's 91, it is not a right angle. If it's 89, it's not. It's got to be 90 on the dot. And how about our last one, 179? Obtuse. Very good. Obtuse is what kind of angle? How do we describe an obtuse angle?
Measures more.
Yes, it measures more than what?
90.
90 degrees. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, let's draw these now. So for number one, we're drawing that 25 degree angle. So I'm going to start by creating a ray. So remember, guys, what's a ray? Anybody remember from yesterday?
It has a starting point.
Yes, it's got a starting point. And what's the other end do? Yes, it goes on forever and ever and ever. That's a ray. An angle is typically made up of two rays. So I've got my first ray. And where am I going to line my protractor up with to measure 25 degrees? Or to measure any angle? Where do I line it up?
At the 0.
At the 0. So that's where the end of my ray goes. And what about the beginning? Where should my starting point line up with?
The vertex.
The vertex. Where's my vertex lining up with on my protractor? I'm asking you goofy questions. Is this right? Am I holding it right?
No.
What should I do?
We got to put the dot.
Yes, yes. I got to make sure that this hole in my protractor lines up with the vertex. And that the rest of the ray lines up with 0. Just like that. Perfect. Okay, so I'm trying to go to 25 degrees. And my protractor is upside down. I was going to say, those numbers looked weird to me. Okay, let's get that back on there. All right, are we looking at the inside numbers or the outside numbers?
The 10s.
Is that
the outside?
the outside?
No, the inside.
Yes, the inside. Very good. So we're starting from 0 and we're going to go up to 25, which will be in between 20 and 30. So right here is that line. I'll make a little dot to connect to, just like that. And then I'm just going to connect my dots. All right. Do your guys' 25 degree angles look kind of like this?
Yep.
Good. Good. So we're going to label this by drawing an arc on the inside.
Good afternoon, faculty and staff.
Scared me.
At this time, we are going to attempt our first ever fire drill.
All right.
So
Wait, baby.
Pause. Okay. So we did number 1, 25 degree angle is acute, and we drew a 25 degree angle. So let's do number 2 now. So we said that it was an acute angle because it is less than 90 degrees, and now we're going to draw that 65 degree angle. So here, I'll label this. That was number 1. I'm going to put number 2. I don't know if I can fit it under here, but I'm going to try. let's see. We're gonna start with a ray. And then line it up just like before. I keep putting my thing upside down. I'll zoom in real close for this. Line it up, line it up. Okay, and we are going to 65 degrees. So again, numbers on the inside or numbers on the outside? The inside. And should you be marking in between 50 and 60 or in between 60 and 70?
60 and 70.
Yes, 60 and 70, because we're trying to get 65 degrees. So we want to go past, sorry guys, I'm not on the screen, past 60 degrees up to 65. So I'm going to make a mark here. And are you guys okay with me not drawing the line all the way to that dot? Can I just use it as a reference point and draw it down here? Okay, I'm going to do that because I don't want to make my angles overlapping like that. So pretend that you didn't make your other ray extend so far, or maybe you didn't make this one so short. Do your 65-degree angles look about like this? Or did somebody get something that looks much different? No, as in it's
no, I was just saying no.
Okay.
It's happening from my
You're good. All right. Everybody good with number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3. We got a 90-degree angle. So, same starting process. We're going to draw that bottom ray. And then we want to line our protractor up with 90. So it actually doesn't matter which way we're counting from. Either way, we are going to see that 90 is right in the middle. So you've got 2 options for marking your 90. You could, well, I guess you have 3 options. You could mark it right here where the line is touching the bottom. You could mark it on top right here. Or they actually gave you a little hole in the middle where you can make a dot on 90. And we're just going to connect the dots. All right. Just like that. And how do we label a 90-degree angle?
Put the square in the middle.
Yes, yes. We want to put a square on that instead of an arc. So anytime that you see an angle that has a square inside of it, it is a 90-degree angle. At least it should be. That's how it's properly labeled. You want to put a square to show that it is a right angle, 90 degrees. Okay. Now I am going to get a different sheet of paper to show you the other one because I don't have enough room. Let me grab one real quick. Okay, so 179 degrees. Did anybody come up with a kind of really weird looking angle for this? I hear yes, I hear no. Let's see if yours looks like mine. Let's try it. So, I'm going to start same way I always do with a ray. I'm going to line it up on here. Okay. And once I put my soon-to-be vertex on there, and I line my protractor up with 0, am I looking at the numbers on the inside or the numbers on the outside to draw my next line or my next ray? Inside, right, because here's my starting point is over here, so my numbers increase on the inside. So we want to keep increasing until we get all the way to 179. So here's 170 all the way out to here. We want to go 171, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It's very little difference. Almost a straight angle. And we're going to connect our dots. Let's see. Like the very slightest tilt ever. Yeah, that just looks like a straight line to me. These are really tough to draw accurately, especially with a marker tip. So anyway, yours, as long as it looks similar to this, you did it right, okay? And then we're gonna label this the same as the others. Draw that little arc on the inside and label it 179 degrees. Okay. Any questions about those 4 problems? Do we all feel okay about drawing angles?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what makes you not feel good about it.
I don't know if I'm doing it.
Okay, so what are you doing? Tell me.
What you doing?
So if you're doing what I'm doing, you're probably doing it right. You think so? You think you're good? If you want to go through more, we can. I just need you to tell me. If not, we're going to move on. We ready to move on, or we want to keep doing this? Okay, let's move on. So, today we are doing a little bit of notes for a moment. I want you to start a page, or you can go back to the notes that you might have written last time, because we are still in Unit 1. So here's where I'm going to title my page. Unit 1, continued. Okay, and we are going to start with 3 new words, or maybe they're words you've heard before, and just don't remember the meaning, or maybe you know the words and you know the meaning. I guess we'll find out. The first word is perpendicular. Perpendicular. Okay, that's a very long word. A lot of letters. Does anybody know what this means? You do? What's it mean?
No, that's parallel. Perpendicular is like.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so before we define it, we're going to draw a picture of what a perpendicular line is. And this isn't going to be an accurate picture, it's just going to be kind of like a photo guide. So when we describe something as perpendicular, usually we're talking about lines. Whenever 2 lines are perpendicular to each other, we're going to start by drawing one line straight up and down. Again, does not have to be perfect. Mine is obviously not. And then we're going to draw another line that intersects, that means it's just crossing it, that intersects with the first line at a perfect 90-degree angle. So we want to put a little square in there. It does not have to be perfect on your page, but it should look somewhat like a right angle. So you need to have one line straight up and down, one line straight left to right. Okay. So whenever lines are perpendicular, we can say that they intersect at a perfect 90-degree angle. So to define this, underneath it, I'm going to write lines that intersect at a perfect 90-degree angle. So that's what perpendicular means. They've got to be straight 90 degrees. And you guys continue writing that, and I'm going to go ahead and get our next word up here, but I'll wait until you guys are ready. Parallel, yes. Okay. You guys ready for the next one, or are we still writing? It's okay if we are. Okay. You ready? Awesome. So, does anybody know what a parallel line is? Yeah, what is it?
It's two lines that go the same direction and another cross.
Yes, yes, yes. So parallel lines are lines that are going in the same direction and they never ever touch each other. They will never intersect. So let's draw a picture of that. So here's one parallel line. These lines are parallel to each other because they are going up and down at the same angle, and they will never ever meet. So I'm going to say lines
It's crazy. I slept in this class. That's crazy.
What'd you say?
I said it's crazy how like in high school I slept in this class.
Really? Hey, I slept in a couple of my classes in high school too. I get it. I get it. Is it making more sense this time around?
Yeah.
Good. Good deal. Okay, so lines going at the same angle that never intersect. Or you could say never meet or never touch. They never intersect. Now, whenever two lines are parallel, we show that by drawing this. On each of the lines, we just put another little arrow on the inside like that. When we see this on two lines beside each other, that means that they are parallel to each other. It means they're going in the same direction. They're at the same angle, same tilt. Now, once we've done these two, we've gotten these definitions written down, I want to tell you about one more little word. And this is the one that we're going to really be using today. That word is bisect. Bisect. So, does bisect sound like something you may have heard before? Or does it sound similar to a word you do know?
What is it?
Like
Bisect? Yeah, like dissect. What does it mean to dissect something?
take something out.
Yeah, you're taking it apart. You're taking it apart when you dissect. Now, bisect, let's break this word down. The prefix here, bi, bi, that means two. That sect part of the word has to do with separating. So if we are bisecting something, we are breaking it into two even equal parts. That's all that's happening here. So to define bisect, I'm going to say to split in half. And in parentheses, because this part's important, we need to know that when we split something in half, it becomes two equal parts. Those two sides need to be equal to each other. To split in half, or two equal parts. All right. So, now we've got these definitions, and I'll give you guys a moment to get caught up. Make sure you've got it all written down, and we're going to use these words in context.
So these notes that we're writing, we can use these on tests?
Absolutely. Sure can. All right. So now I would like for you guys, does anyone still need this? Can I move it?
Yeah, wait.
Okay, I'll leave it. That's all right. I'm gonna grab
You're good.
something for you real quick. Oh, actually, let me do this. So today, we are going to be using these again, and y'all get to use these today. Compasses. Some of them have never been opened. Some of them have. So you get what you get. They're all brand new though. They just got opened today. You're welcome. There you go. Now these do stay here. You are welcome. But you guys do get to use them. Yeah. Or do you want a brand new one?
A brand new.
You got it. I gave you one that was already open too, didn't I? You want a new one? Sure. Here you go. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, everybody have a paper? Good deal. Let's talk about something new. Does anyone still need those notes? I don't want to move on if we're not done. I want everyone to put their page to the side with all the line segments on it. And I would also like for you to look at that paper that I put in your green folders today. We are going to be doing our first construction today. And we are going to be constructing what is called a perpendicular bisector today. So I'm going to write up here, perpendicular bisector. So, a perpendicular bisector. Can anybody guess, based off of what those two words mean that we just learned, does anybody have any idea what a perpendicular bisector might be? What it might look like? Any ideas? Yeah? Yeah?
Intersection kind of,
Like an intersection? Yes. What are you going to say?
splitting something that's perpendicular.
Splitting something perpendicular in half? You guys are absolutely right. Both ways. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So, first I'm going to do it fast, and then I'm going to break it down and have you guys do it with me. So first time around, just watch, okay? I'm going to do the smallest line segment down here. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So to make a perpendicular bisector, what I do first, and you guys don't need to do this along with me yet, just watch, and then we'll do it really slowly. First, I take my compass, these are called compasses, and I want my pointy end to touch one end of my line segment, and I want my pencil end to touch the other. And I'm going to start by drawing a little arc here. And same thing on the other side. Now I'll put my pointy end on this side of my segment. And I'll draw another arc. And I'll make sure that they touch. They have to touch. Now I'm going to do it one more time underneath. Just like this. Oh my goodness. This is a lot harder to mess with than it looks. There's one. And two. Okay, so I've created my two little intersections with these arcs, and now all I have to do is take my ruler and we're going to break it down, guys. I just want to show you first. I'm going to line it up with the intersections, trace a line, and this line should perfectly split this original segment in half at a 90-degree angle. So here's how we label this too. Again, I'll go step by step in a minute. We put a little box to show that this is 90 degrees, and we put 2 little dash marks on either side of our original line to show that they are the same length. All right? So let's do it together now. Let's do it together. Huh? What'd you say? I could not tell you. There's like a whole theorem for this to figure it out. It's crazy. I know. Well, this is the stuff that like contractors and the people that design like blueprints for how, yeah, they got to do this stuff. So if you want to design homes, you got to learn this. I know. Well, I'll tell you what you do have to have it for, your diploma, sadly. Sadly, but you know what? We are just one step closer to that. You guys, if you're in geometry, that means you're at the final stretch. This is the last, yes, and senior seminar. That's good. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and just do this one right beside it. We've got this line segment that is tilting down like this. So first thing I want you to do is take your compass and open it up so that one end is touching one part of your line segment and your other end is touching the other part, just like this. Now, once you've got it lined up, I'll make sure you guys are with me. We just take that, and I find that it's easier to move my paper than it is my compass. So I take it and I hold my compass still and I do this. I turn it. And then we're just gonna go like that. Yeah, see that? So I made like a half circle there. And then I'm just gonna flip it around and do the other side. Just like this. Oh my goodness. Come on. There we go. There we go. So once you have put your little arcs around the edges of your line, you now have 2 little intersections that you can line your ruler up with. Just like this.
This is all you do for this?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
Not bad. At least for now. At least for now. You know, right now we're just, for constructions anyway, we're just kind of making shapes and angles and stuff. Geometry, I'll tell you what, geometry is kind of the fun math because it's a lot more like drawing and using physical objects. So I find that a lot more people really enjoy it.
So we draw a line down the middle
Uh-huh.
all the time.
All the time, at least whenever we are doing a perpendicular bisector. Yes, this is how we do a bisector. So just make sure at the end you label it correctly. So we need to show that there's a 90-degree angle, and we also want to show that we did bisect this line, that we did split it into 2 equal parts. So we put those little dashes on there. And I don't know, guys, personally, I look at it, I think it's kind of satisfying, like putting the little lines on there and label, like it's fun. I like doing it. Okay. You guys want me to show you one more time, or do you want to try the other 3 on your own and I can walk around and help?
I got it.
Okay,
We got it.
awesome. I'm going to pause this. I want you guys to try the other 3 on your own, and I will be around the room seeing how you're doing. Okay, we are going to learn something different now. Instead of a perpendicular bisector, we are going to do an angle bisector. angle bisector. So, also on that page that I gave you, you will see that there is a little guide for how to construct this. Looks like this. You guys all get one of these? So let me move that. Oop, hang on. I'm going to move that off my screen so that it's not messing. Oh my goodness. Hang on, guys. Ooh. Everything's going everywhere. Okay, so if you notice on your page, our starting point, just like when we measure an angle, when we are constructing an angle bisector, our starting point is the vertex. We want to put our compass, the pointy part, not the pencil, we're going to put that right on the vertex. And then we actually want to close our compass to where it is smaller than half of this line. It needs to be little. It needs to be like here-ish. Now what I'm going to do is that I've got to open at this angle. I'm going to take it and I'm going to create an arc. Oh my gosh, everything's in the way on my desk. I'm going to take it like this and I'm going to draw that little arc all the way around.
How small does it need to be?
It just needs to be less than half of the length of the ray that's showing, to give yourself room to make your other intersection. Because if it's too big, your line is going to be connecting super far away from your angle. So you just want it to be less than half. And it'll tell you that on that cheat sheet too. So on your cheat sheet it says center O, radius less than OA. Okay, that's not going to make a whole lot of sense because we haven't talked about how to label things as much yet. But what it's telling you is that you want this, the length of your vertex to your arc, it just needs to be smaller really than this line. It doesn't have to be a specified size, just as long as it's small enough that you have room to make your intersection. So, does everybody have their first arc? Okay, so what you're going to do now is, and here's kind of how we're going to think of it. Your vertex is your step 1, you draw an arc. Step 2 and 3 are these new points. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my compass, keep it at the same distance it was opened at before, and I'm going to put my silver point on my number 2, that new intersection I just made. Is everybody with me? Okay, so once you've got that, you are going to make a little arc somewhere on the inside of this angle, just like this. Made a little arc right here. You're just going to do the same thing after that on your third point. You're going to put that compass right here. See it? And I want to make sure that those two arcs cross in the middle. Just like that. Okay, now once you've gotten that, we just take our ruler and go through the intersection like this. And look at that, we split our angle in half perfectly. Not so bad. Okay, are any of these steps getting lost while you guys are doing this? Is anybody behind or confused about this process? You don't know?
No, I was talking to her.
Oh, okay.
She asked what grade did we take geometry.
Gotcha. Okay, so everybody okay on this process?
Let's do another one.
Let's do another one. So remember our starting point, and if you need to do this, you can even label it on your paper. 1 is the vertex. 2 and 3 are going to be your new points that you make. So let's put our point on 1 on the vertex.
Make sure it's closed in, right?
Yep, make sure that you don't make it too big, because if you do, then your intersection for this angle bisector is going to be super far away. And it could still work, it's just not going to be as convenient to put it on your paper. It's going to be giant. So we're going to make a little mark like this. And can you guys see already where our next points are? Right there. We're going to make sure that we line up the point with these 2 intersections that were just created. So now I'm going to put it here and make an arc in the middle. And same with this side, arc in the middle. And this new intersection is the point we connect. So we just take our ruler and trace. And it should split it down the middle just about perfectly. Just like that. Okay. All right, guys, let's do one more. Let's do one
Can we
more.
do like the big one?
Yeah.
I'm trying to like
This one right here?
Yeah, it's not intersect.
Let's do it. Okay, so I have a big old obtuse angle here. So I need to put my compass on the vertex, the starting point, and I want my,
When it's still small.
yep. So here's my line here. I want it to be smaller, like here-ish. Man, I keep bending this. Okay. Put it like here. I'll make it little. Okay, everybody see how open I have it? And then I'm gonna take it and, hang on, I wanna get it to where you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna turn, get it on there like this. Okay. Now, I'm gonna take the same length, put it on that next point we made, and make it cross in the middle of the line, or in the middle of the angle here, just like that. And we do it one more time on the other side, right here. And we'll see where they cross. Just like, oh my goodness. They cross a little bit right here, you see that? Right there. So on an obtuse angle, it is tougher for sure. It's always going to be easier on an acute angle, because whenever they are squished together, it pushes those arcs closer to each other and further away from the inside. So we've got our second point right here, and we want to connect the dots. Did that help, Cheyenne?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What do you think you were doing differently?
I changed the size right here because it's split.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. That makes sense. That's a super easy mistake to make. And I'll tell you what, you got to be careful with these, because even whenever I'm like, I have it sitting on here and then I want to make it smaller, like I keep bending this back accidentally. Like they're kind of, see that? Don't do that. Bad example. Anyway, I'm going to connect these dots. All right. Boom. We bisected it. Awesome. Okay, guys. We're going to quit there. I'm going to give you an exit ticket. I know. A lot of stuff today. We're getting into it. For your exit ticket, let me find it. Got my notes everywhere right now. I know I just wrote it down somewhere. Where'd I put it?
Where did you say the loose leaf paper was?
Right up here. It's gonna be under those turn-in bins, in those like clear, yeah. Awesome, no problem. Okay, here is your exit ticket for today. I want you to draw a line that is 1 inch long exactly, and I want you to make the perpendicular bisector. And then I want you to make a line that is exactly 2 inches long and make the perpendicular bisector, just like what we did today. So a 1 inch line and a 2 inch line. So there's 2 bisectors you're doing. And once you are finished, you are free to go. That's it today. I'm going to end it there.